Deal with it. Surprised to see me? A little.
In Gotham City, about half a century into the future, David Clinton, a mild-mannered scientist with more brains than backbone, finds himself in yet another domestic spat with his wife, Enid. She storms into the garage, expecting him to take out the trash, but she discovers he has a bunch of junk. He calls them his collection and explains that they're not ordinary because they are all odd relics from different eras. David proudly explains that he collected them on his trips through time with the Chronos suit, his latest scientific breakthrough. Instead of being impressed, Enid only grows more furious. She congratulates him on being the first man to invent time travel, but tells him it doesn't mean he'll cheat on her with hot exes from the past. She continues to lash out at him mercilessly, demanding to know why he wasted such a powerful invention gathering garbage when he could have taken gold, jewels, priceless artifacts, or even brought back knowledge of future stock prices to make them rich beyond their wildest dreams. David, clearly frustrated, tries to explain that he must be cautious when using the suit. He can only take objects that won't be missed, items whose removal won't alter the timeline or disrupt the course of history. But Enid isn't having it. She interrupts, mocks his explanation, and accuses him of having no ambition at all because his pull-out game is longer than the time he claps her in bed. Her final cutting remark, calling his time travel device the most useless invention ever made, finally pushes David past his breaking point. He looks her in the eye and declares with a mix of anger and liberation that it is not completely useless as long as he can use it to get away from her. With that, he slams his hand on the Chronos suit's belt controls, and a glowing time portal swirls open before him. Without hesitation, David jumps in, leaving Enid puzzled. On board the Watchtower satellite, the Justice League members gather in the commissary to get their meals. Tension brews when Hawkgirl and Wonder Woman both grab the same tray at the same time. Still upset with each other, Diana reluctantly lets Hawkgirl have it, and Hawkgirl takes it without saying a word. From their table, Green Lantern comments to Batman that Diana is still holding a grudge, to which Batman calmly replies that she'll get over it. As they eat, Bruce Wayne casually asks John Stewart about Shayera Thal, and John replies that he has been giving her space and is happy to see Vixen now. Batman just answers with a simple smirk, and John is forced to redirect the conversation back to Bruce, teasing him about his obvious feelings for Diana. Batman insists that he doesn't have time for romance, that he respects Diana as an extraordinary woman and a trusted teammate. While he glazes her, he notices a weird reaction on John's face, which only hints at one thing. She is standing right behind him, listening. Diana smirks, telling Bruce to keep digging and making him embarrassed like a YN who just got caught using the baby voice on the phone with his girl by his homies. The awkward moment is saved by an intruder alert coming from the dormitory section of the Watchtower. Batman, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman rush to investigate and find a stranger attempting to steal one of Batman's utility belts. When confronted, the intruder, who just so happens to be David Clinton, panics and activates his time portal. He jumps through it to escape, and without hesitation, the three heroes leap in after him, getting tossed around inside the energy tunnel as they're pulled along to wherever it leads. The three heroes tumble out of the portal and find themselves standing in the middle of a desert. They are quickly surrounded by a group of rough-looking highwaymen dressed like Old West outlaws. The bandits aim their guns at them and demand a toll for crossing through what they call Tobias Manning's territory. One of the outlaws tries to get a little handsy with Diana, so she immediately tosses him away like a used napkin at a fancy dinner party. The other two fire their revolvers, but Diana easily deflects the bullets with her bracelets, calling them weak. When the outlaws realize that they don't stand a chance, they try to flee, but Wonder Woman whips out her golden lasso and snags all three at once, yanking them overhead and slamming them into the dirt. As Batman searches through one of the downed highwaymen's belongings, he finds a newspaper dated June 12th, 1879. It's all the confirmation they need that they've traveled into the past. The heroes change into the outlaws' clothes to avoid any unnecessary attention while they continue their search in the town. They ride the outlaws' horses into the town, heading straight for the saloon. Inside, they watch a tense poker game between Tobias Manning, the outlaw leader, and another man. The man defeats Tobias flawlessly, but Tobias isn't just going to sit there and let the man have his money. He draws a gun at him. The man does the same, but something is not quite right. The Justice League can't help but notice the fact that Tobias's gun has extendable barrels and looks suspiciously like future tech. The gambler immediately surrenders his winnings without a fight, but the man is dragged to the county jail. Tobias orders his men to hang him at dawn. Later that night, Batman, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman decide to break the stranger out of jail. John goes in first, creating a glowing, ghostly construct with his power ring to spook the jailer, causing him to faint. Wonder Woman then rips the cell door off its hinges and frees the prisoner, who introduces himself as Bat Lash, a gambler and gunslinger who has his own score to settle with Tobias. Surprisingly enough, in the cell sits David Clinton, the man they've been chasing. Clinton explains that he landed in this time period 6 months earlier than them, only to have his Chronos suit confiscated by Tobias and his men. Using the time travel device, the outlaw leader has now been raiding the future for advanced weapons and technology, which he uses to own the town. He explains that Tobias is only keeping him alive so he can explain how the Chronos suit works. Bruce notices surveillance cameras near the cells and tells Clinton they have to move. They bust him out and try to escape, but as they head for the exit, Tobias's men ambush them with gunfire. John shields the group with his power ring, and the bullets feel so ancient and weak that he wonders if they'd come with a curse rather than damage. Suddenly, unexpected reinforcements, led by Ohiesa Smith, the former sheriff, arrive. The masked gunslinger El Diablo and the grim cowboy Jonah Hex take down the gunmen together. Ohiesa explains that Tobias drove him out of town with strange magic powers, so he gathered allies to take the vicinity back. The Justice League, without revealing they're from the future, agrees to join forces with him to stop Tobias. On the way to Tobias's hideout, a robotic pterodactyl attacks. Wonder Woman leaps onto it and tears its wings, forcing the rider to bail. At the hideout, the group faces security cameras, robotic guards, and heavy future tech. Batman and Diana disable the defenses easily, while the rest fight through robotic mechs and tanks. They eventually get to Tobias, who tries to escape on a robotic Pegasus. He is brought down by Ohiesa, who knocks him out and recovers Clinton's Chronos belt. John disposes of the stolen tech equipment by sending them into space. As Batman inspects the belt, Clinton tricks him with an electric shock, grabs the device, and escapes through a time portal. Wonder Woman and John dive in after him, pulling Batman along. They land in Gotham, but 50 years in the future, where they are greeted by a Joker's gang armed with advanced weapons. Before a fight can break out, 3 future heroes arrive: an older Static, Terry McGinnis as Batman, and a winged man in armor who calls John Dad, leaving him stunned. While the heroes assemble, the brightly dressed Joker's gang, who, much like Manning, are armed with stolen future tech, taunt the heroes, saying they've been expecting them. John is still caught off guard from seeing a grown-ass superhero call him Dad, and for a brief moment, he wonders if his past as a playboy has finally caught up to him. There's no time to talk, so Terry quickly warns them that they need to get out of there. Ghoul, one of the Jokers, refuses to let them leave. He hurls a jack-o'-lantern bomb high into the air, releasing a barrage of explosive flares. Green Lantern shields the group with a force field, but the blasts are too much for it to hold. The shield shatters, forcing everyone to scram for their own safety. The battle quickly escalates, with Wonder Woman taking on Chuko, who floats around on a red ball thanks to an anti-gravity device, and swings a dangerous double-bladed lightsaber, which was obviously ripped out of a Star Trek movie. The DD twins attack Green Lantern with crackling laser whips, multiplying in number whenever one crashes into a wall or floor. The winged hero, John's future son, tangles with Woof, a vicious, cybernetically enhanced brute with razor-sharp claws. Static fights Bonk, who can morph his hand into a massive hammer, while Terry goes one-on-one with Ghoul, whose forearm transforms into a spinning buzzsaw. Despite their skill, the League and their new allies are badly outnumbered and overpowered. Realizing that their only option is retreating, Terry tries to open a portal midair, but the gang destroys his device. Static then unleashes a blinding surge of electricity to disorient them, and Green Lantern constructs a twisting maze with his power ring to slow them down. Taking the opportunity, the heroes retreat to safety. The Justice League and their future allies regroup inside a darkened building, the only base the League still has in this timeline, as most of its members are long gone. There, they come face to face with an older version of Bruce Wayne, and Batman is genuinely astonished to see that he lived to such an advanced age. The armored, winged hero formally introduces himself as Rex Stewart, the Warhawk. John immediately asks Rex who his mother is, but the elder Bruce quickly cuts him off, saying he shouldn't know too much about the future. Static, however, accidentally spills that Shiera was a cranky pregnant lady, hinting at the truth. Rex immediately reassures John that Static is joking, although he doesn't seem entirely sure himself. Static also points out that since Bruce Wayne has clearly survived into old age, he must have already lived through these events before, but the elderly Bruce insists he has no memory of time traveling. Batman notices that Gotham's streets are cluttered with buildings from different historical periods, proof that the timeline has been disrupted. The elderly Bruce warns them all that the timeline has been so badly corrupted that history itself is becoming unstable and fluid. Elsewhere, aboard a historical ocean liner pulled from the past, David Clinton, now fully embracing his identity as Kronos, berates the Jokers for failing to stop the Justice League. He singles out Chuko as the one who tipped off Terry McGinnis about their location and punishes him by banishing him to prehistoric Earth, moments before the meteor strike that wiped out the dinosaurs. Kronos warns the rest of the Jokers that they will share Chuko's fate if they fail again. After dismissing them, David tries to spend time with his wife, Enid, but she nags him about freeing her mother from the imprisonment he put her in. David states that it was her mother who stated that he would never amount to anything, and she had also supported her. Frustrated, David lashes out, telling Enid nothing he does is ever good enough and that he's tired of it. He storms off, declaring that nothing she says will change how he feels about her. Back at the heroes' base, the two Justice League teams continue to investigate Kronos' activities. Elder Bruce uncovers evidence showing that Kronos' meddling is causing catastrophic damage to the space-time continuum, and the effect is rapidly getting worse. Batman develops a special program, records it onto a disc, and stores it in his utility belt, intending to upload it into Kronos' time travel device when they catch him. Suddenly, Wonder Woman begins to fade before their eyes, vanishing entirely. She gets erased from existence, proving how little time they have left to put an end to the catastrophic time capsule. They notice a massive white energy wave approaching Gotham, threatening to wipe out everything. Batman decides it's best if they track down one of the Jokers to milk out information. He tracks Ghoul to a Gotham rooftop and, with the help and superior intimidation of older Bruce, gets him spilling information like an unlocked diary at a slumber party. Firstly, they meet up with Enid and question her about Clinton's location. She informs them that although he travels through time, he always sleeps in the same place. She directs them to the center of a Roman Colosseum, where they find a small jail cell. John, who has for some reason transformed into Hal Jordan, scans for traps, but reverts to John as he confirms there are none. John questions why Kronos would choose to sleep in a jail cell, to which Enid responds that having godlike powers doesn't stop him from being the Jeff Bezos of bad decisions. When Enid yanks David awake, he immediately activates a portal and summons the Jokers, beginning a battle. During the fight, Static is pulled into a time rift and disappears, while Terry McGinnis is killed by the DD's energy lassos. More disruptions follow as soldiers from the French Revolution and even a woolly mammoth appear, showing that time is completely unraveling. Batman and Green Lantern warn Clinton that the white energy wave consuming the sky signifies the destruction of time itself. Realizing the gravity of the situation, David kisses Enid goodbye and escapes swiftly after activating his Chronos belt. Batman and Green Lantern equally hop into the portal, which leads them through a longer passageway where they see a massive hand representing creation. Batman deduces that if Chronos reaches it first, he could rewrite all of existence. Green Lantern captures him with a construct, pulling him into their energy bubble. Batman then uploads his program into the Chronos suit, while Green Lantern uses his willpower to slow their approach to the hand. As they near it, everything fades into darkness. Batman and Green Lantern suddenly find themselves back in the Watchtower cafeteria, sitting at the table where everything began. Wonder Woman approaches and casually joins them, completely unaware of the events that just transpired. Only Batman and Green Lantern retain any memory of their time-traveling mission. Jon Stewart spots Hawkgirl nearby, still visibly upset, and silently recalls what his future son, Rex, revealed about his mother. Batman quietly tells John that the program he uploaded into the Chronos belt will ensure that David Clinton never comes into existence. Meanwhile, in the future era where Clinton once lived, he is trapped in a time loop. Each time he tries to escape his wife's endless nagging about wasting his time travel invention, the moment resets, forcing him to relive the argument again and again for eternity. Thank you for sticking to the end of my video. Please do me the biggest favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video.